So nice to have everybody join us, and people will probably be jumping on. But I would ask if you could if you can find the chat on your screen, put your contact information in there. That is one of the biggest things that I feel our networking groups can do for each other is, just make sure we're connecting and we try to do that as often as we can. Obviously, some of our groups, maybe it's not obvious, but some of our groups, they kind of get to know each other. And if there's no guests on, they might not do that if they're doing a Zoom call. But having said that, let's just dig right in. I wanted to definitely make sure, and I will hopefully be able to save the chat before I close the door on this thing. I'm so glad you're here. This is TTR Networking Ignite, a new program that we're offering, and it's the spark to ignite your strategic networking. And we're just glad that you're here today. I had put out some stuff with this same stuff on it, but it was in red and it was hard to read. So I like the white better. It actually worked. So hopefully you can see everything we're doing here. We're going to go along. And today's agenda, can you all see that? I have a bar right up across the top, and I'm just making sure. So if you can't see something, let me know, but I don't think you can see what I can see. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about who am I? And some days I'm not sure who I am, but the definition of networking, the 4 keys to networking success, what our Ignite program is and why you should be there. We're going to have a couple just success stories, and then we're, questions and answers, obviously. Any questions that you have, we'll happy to take those at any point. If you've got something, just let me know. And basically, we'll end up, are you ready to ignite your business? And we'll go from there. So I am Jennifer Johnson, and I am glad that picture looks halfway decent because I look a little rough, but we've been moving into a new home. We haven't been here a week yet. So we built this house, and we are very excited to be here. But if you've ever moved, which I think most of us have, at some point, there's a lot to it. Didn't even realize that. I guess you just forget about it, and then you go back to do it. You're like, this is why we don't do it that much. But I am the TTR Networking founder, and TTR Networking actually is to the rescue networking. I can tell you the long story, but I won't bore you with it. But if you want to find TTR Networking, you just go to ttrnetworking.com, and you'll find our networking website. And there's some other things on there. I'm a relationship marketing coach. If you know of Jack Canfield, I'm a Canfield Success Principles trainer, which I'm really, the success principles are the 68 Success Principles training, or the book of the 68 Success Principles. I'm also a professional vocalist. But today we're going to talk about networking. And I do want to go back just a minute. TTR Networking is 11 years old, and we have 14 groups, and they are networking groups. They used to be all only industry exclusive, and that kind of gets deep into the weeds a little bit, but we also now offer some other programs. We have a mastermind. We have some other things that are part of our under our umbrella. And I'm very excited that, over the last 2 years, really 2.5 years with the pandemic, these things have been possible because of the virtual world. But we still have groups that are meeting in person too. So anyway, I am Jennifer Johnson. So glad to have you all on here. Just wanted to start out, and I don't know if anybody has ever really thought about this, but according to Wikipedia, what is networking? It's the sharing of information or services between people, businesses, or groups. It's also a way for individuals to grow their relationships for their job or business. And as a result, connections or a network can be built and useful for individuals in their professional or personal lives I really think if you do this whole thing about building relationships correctly, it turns into a lot more than just, it's both personal and professional a lot of times. So successful networking involves regularly following up with the contacts that you have to exchange valuable information that may not be readily available outside the network. So I just would say following up is a big key word to me, and it's definitely part of it. It also can help you identify opportunities for collaboration, strategic joint ventures, partnerships, and new areas to expand your business. It is also about connecting and building relationships. That is what it's about. It's about connecting and building relationships. And there's bad networking or failures networking, and there's successful networking. I get so excited about this, and I was looking at, I was kind of skipping over a couple notes that I had made, but the term networking was actually coined back in 1985 by a gentleman named Bill Lewis, who for some reason or another, it took him a little while before he admitted to being the one who did it. But it's probably, let's see, I think there's some different, it's become one of the late 20th and early 21st century's primary buzzwords, according to the article that I'm reading here. And I cannot tell you who the actual, if you Google the phrase coined the term networking, you will find everything but the right answer. But Lewis says that he is admitting to it, and it was in a 1985 news article that he actually said that. And it's primarily what we've already talked about. It's just connecting people, business people typically, and benefiting from those connections. So what we're going to talk about, though, is successful networking and the connecting and building relationships. So the 4 keys that I would like you to just kind of keep in mind, I probably could have put a little key on this and it would have looked kind of cute, but 4 keys to successful or networking success is number 1, authenticity. And you need to connect on a real level. You need to be, the real thing. I looked up the word authenticity, and of course, sometimes the definitions say something about being authentic. Well, that doesn't help us. But the words they use is genuine and real. It's so important that you are able to connect with somebody on a genuine and real basis. And when you're networking in business, you want to solve a problem. You want to first connect, solve a problem for them. They understand, because you're being authentic, that you've been there, you can solve a problem they have, and you can solve it because you have solved it for yourself, or you've solved it for a friend, or you've solved it somehow. And it's all about how you make them feel. They don't really care if you have all kinds of terminology and all kinds of crazy things that, terminology. Probably the biggest thing that turns me off is when somebody gets on one of our networking calls and they're going into this whole thing and they're using terms that nobody else knows. It's lingo for their industry, but they don't understand that the people that are listening, they've lost because we don't know what those words mean. So authenticity is being real. You bring them you solve a problem for them. So that thing about how do you make them feel? Maya Angelou said, people don't care what you did or what you said, it's how you make them feel. And if I hear that one time a day, I probably hear it 5 to 10 times a day. I mean, people are, it doesn't matter how, you know, profession or how much you know about it until they know how much you care. So that's another one. I'm not sure who did that one, but Maya Angelou, how you make them feel. So that's number one. That's one thing you're going to find all over our marketing is authenticity. Number two key is being interested and not interesting. There's nothing wrong with telling your story. That's part of what you do, but you want it to be about them. When you're networking, you are there because you're interested in them. So being interested, not interesting. It's like I said, it's good to be able to share your little story, but I know that Tim is on here, right? Are you still on, Tim? He's gone. Are you all?
He's on here.
I'm right
He's
here.
waving.
He's what?
He's waving. Okay, he's
Oh,
not
good.
waving.
I can't see you guys. Okay.
Oh,
So Tim, when I was putting this together, the first thing that I thought of was be interested, not interesting. The first person that popped in my mind was Tim Garrity, because, and I hope you understand, this is a good thing. I knew Tim for a couple months before I ever knew really what he did, because he was always wanting, he was interested in what I was doing or anybody that I was in a conversation with, and he was there in that conversation. He was connecting them. He was helping make connections for them. And I was like, I don't even know. I mean, I'm not kidding that it was probably a couple months, Tim, and I don't know if you realize that, but that was really cool. And I think that's, you know, that's part of what you share, you know, that you do connect and you're educating, but you don't come into it and want to dominate the conversation. I don't know if hopefully that's a good thing. You feel like that's a good thing.
I appreciate those comments. Yeah.
Yes. And I know we've known each other for a few years, and I would believe that you're probably still doing that. You're getting busier and your book of business, I know, has grown quite a bit, but you know, be interested, not interesting. Like I said, you don't want to be there and just be you know, Tim was not boring, but he was interested in what we were doing and who he could connect us with. And that was probably, I don't know, you've been in our groups for a couple of years, and it's really awesome.
At least 3 years.
Unbelievable. Thank you very much. And there's two other keys. So authenticity, be interested, not interesting, come to give, not to get. If you're here, you know, the other term I wrote down is be ready to serve, not to, you know, be a servant. If you go into a networking situation and you're not ready to give, you're going to be very, very, you're going to be very, what's the word? You're going to get very frustrated pretty quickly. You're going to, if you are doing successful networking, that has got to be, you've got to be a servant. You've got to come in ready to give, and you may have to give for a while before you get. We all know how that works. You know, we say it every day. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. People have to know that you're interested in helping them before they're going to be willing to help you. And I had originally said that I had only 3 keys to networking success, and I decided there's a 4th one. And somewhere along the way, this has been instilled in me. I cannot tell you where, but be patiently persistent. So to me, that's keep you and your business in front of them, in front of those people that you're networking with. You meet somebody new. We're going to talk about it in a little bit more in depth about the program, the Ignite program. But the whole idea is you keep you and your business in front of them, so you are top of mind at all times. Your timing may not be their timing. They may not need you right today, but real estate, right? Dan? Yeah, Dave, our realtor on the call.
I'm here.
Yeah, Dan, so sorry, Dan. I met you before and I'm not looking at your face if I saw that, but the idea, people move, what, 5 to 7 years? Is that kind of the average yet, or is it changed?
As far as someone selling a house,
Yes.
and turning it over, it's probably been extended a little bit, only because a lot of people refinance their house, but on average, it's been 5 to 7 years. Yes.
So if you're not, and I know that the real estate market, they do that. They're very, I want to say persistent in a positive way, but you guys know, I'm sure no matter what company you work with, every group has a different idea about, but I know there are some real estate offices that tell you every month you should be dropping something off to your clients. Well, if you've been doing it for a while, you could have quite a book of, quite a group of clients but at some point that client is going to need your services again, right? So I want it to be, I was an insurance agent, and the people that I know that are on the call know that because I've talked about it a zillion times, but they might not need they didn't need my insurance every day, but when they did, because I was out and I was seeing people and I was reaching out to them and all that kind of stuff, but being patient and persistent at the same time is a key to this. And like I said before, if you're going to be successful at it, it's not going to happen overnight. And you probably all know that in your own industry, how that works. And we'll go to the next thing. So I do want to say with that whole thing too, if you look at one of the things I do is relationship marketing, and the statistics say that relationship marketing is 80% just building the relationships. Actually, at sometimes it's even more than that. If you did, if you went overboard, it could be 90 to 95%. And then the marketing just happens for itself. So what are we really talking about when we're talking about relationship marketing? We're talking about just the basics of building a relationship. And I kid around, but I tell people, you wouldn't go out on one date and get married. Most people don't do that. Occasionally it might happen, but I don't think it will generally. But anyway, so the Ignite program that if you keep those 4 keys, they're going to, no matter whether you decide to become part of Ignite or you decide you want to go just, do it by yourself somewhere, those are the 4 keys that I would always recommend people keep in mind. And I'm starting to get a little more comfortable here, Nicole. So just moving back and forth, that actually works. But those 4 keys, I just cannot say that more than, I've been networking. We've had TTR Networking for 11 years and 14 networking groups later, and many, many people that have come and gone. A lot of people have gone on to different industries, and some people have retired and all of that, but the basics always remain the same. So that is something I would definitely keep in mind. And then when you're looking at what we're going to do with TTR Networking's Ignite program, the idea, the perfect, or my avatar is, we talk about in the groups, is either someone who is burned out because they've been doing the same thing for a long time and they're trying to get motivated again to go back, to do some of the things. I was telling a couple people the other day, even me, who I do networking groups all day long and I meet one-on-one. We have a number of new people that are joining our network, and it's really exciting. But I meet with everybody. I want to make sure that I'm connecting them with the right people. But even when I'm thinking about those one-on-ones or the one-to-ones or the group calls, even though I always get inspired and I'm happy that I'm on the group calls when I do it, I still kind of get that I have to, networking is work. It is not, some people are better at it. Some people have certain skills of it, but they're usually not all around doing everything they should to really do the successful networking they need to do. So if you're burned out, you've been doing your, the thing you've been doing for a long time, and there was a reason you got into it at the beginning, this would be the program to, it's a 4-week program. We're going to help you spark the fire within, just get that, thing going again that you were doing. Why did you do what you're doing? Why do you do what you're doing? We're going to dig into that. And in a 4-week program, we're going to build business relations. We're going to learn better how to do that, building business relationships in an authentic and empowered way. And we're going to learn networking strategies and use some tools. And toward the end of it, we'll actually do a little masterminding that I actually believe all of our referral groups do anyway, even though we don't officially call it masterminding. That's what we do have a mastermind group too. So that is another element that we offer. But the 4-week program will be literally 4 weeks. And in that time, we will help you define your purpose in networking, which you might all say, well, I know what I'm doing. I'm getting business, or I'm trying to get more referrals. There is a little more to it than that. And we've had the mastermind group a few years. We started our first mastermind, the very first, I think it was March. Was it March, Nicole? We did that.
2020, wasn't it?
2020,
Yeah, right when everything.
Yeah, we did
started.
the mastermind. Yeah. And if you've never done a mastermind, that has really very little to do with your industry. There are no restrictions on the industry that you are in. So you may end up that there's a few people in it. We just finished, a few people in your industry in it. But that can be good. That can be a good thing. But we all learn from each other. So the mastermind is one of the elements. But when we start the Ignite program, we're going to define your purpose for networking or in networking. Then we're going to create a game plan. If you don't have one, you really should have a plan. I believe you learn from everybody. I don't want people to think that we're going to tell you not to go. You have to decide that for yourself. Once you figure out what your purpose is in your networking, then you can create a game plan and make those kind of strategically plan out what kind of things you want to do and who are the people that you're trying to reach. I know that some people would say that there are probably certain industries you have no need to talk to, depending on your industry. But reality is they know people that might need what your services are. So I don't think that you can always just clear cut say, well, that's that kind of event. I don't need to go to that or whatever. But the game plan, we will talk about, once you figure out your purpose, then what is your game plan? And then we're going to help you with a number of tools that will make available some strategies, different things that you can do to actually build that referral network a little bit faster than maybe you would do it if you were just waiting out the years that it can take in some industries to do that. So we're going to help you do that. I put in the information that we put out on the different platforms that this is going to be the referral network of your dreams. Well, the idea to me is, wouldn't it be just awesome if your referral network that you're building, that they are referring people to you without you even having to do much, because you laid the groundwork so well to begin with that they think of you positively. They are happy to send people to you because they trust you. All those kind of, that is that, I think in somewhere, yes, I said, if you build it right, it will work when you don't, and create a lifetime of referrals. I mean, a lot of our industries, people come in and they think they're going to get those referrals right off the bat, and everybody's Tim, are they gonna invest their money with you the moment they meet you? I don't think so. Dan, would that happen with you? I mean, I don't think anybody's in an industry that people are just gonna, oh,
Nope.
I want to do business with you today because I just met you and you're a nice guy. No, if you're talking about their finances and everything, they're going to want to know a little bit more about you, and they're going to have to believe that you have their best interests and all of that in their, in your mind as you're helping them. So
it always takes a while to build trust.
It does. So this group, this meeting, we are this 4-week program. I have the last few months, probably the last year, more than I've ever, maybe, yeah, probably the last year. And I'm sure it's because a lot of people have been displaced from corporate jobs and they're starting their own business and they're excited. They get referred to me and I'll talk to them. And not that I have all the answers, but I share with them what TTR has to offer. And they kind of look at me with a glazed over look like, why would I do that? Why would I need that? I can do that. They have no idea what a referral or a networking organization can do for them. And so having said that, I kept saying there's got to be some way to kind of bring people in, give them a taste of everything that TTR offers. And if it's not something they want, they can at least take the tools with them and utilize them in their own whatever, in their own communities, in their own, whatever they want to do. So you're going to take away some things that will definitely be permanent, or hopefully you'll what's the word? You'll absorb the information and you'll go and start using it if you haven't already. So, but it's a 4-week program. And at the end of the program, you'll get a chance to decide if you want to, if you're already a member, you may decide, I'd like to try that mastermind, or I certainly hope that we will keep you, but hopefully you'll walk away with some real usable tools. And I am more than happy to be a connection and help you with what I can share with you at that time. We can do one-to-one calls, and I hope that everybody that's in the program will do that. So I did want to just real quick, part of what we do is relationship marketing, and that is a big part of the building the referral network. And there, I say that all the time in our network, and I think people are just, yep, that's what, but it's literally, there are steps, there are things you can do in the in the relationship marketing vein that are the steps to building this referral network. Once you've got the purpose, once you've got your game plan, then you have to figure out what you do. What do I do with this information? How do I take care of my clients or the contacts I'm making? So I wanted to, I did ask a couple people, well, Nicole's the only one on the call right now, but I did want to bring up, there are a couple people that you might not know these people, but I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Joe Girard. Has anybody ever heard of Joe Girard? And yes, Nicole, you're not allowed to say that.
Used to be on TV, didn't he?
Well, actually, I don't know that he was ever on TV, but I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s. And Joe actually, think he died not too terribly long ago, but he was the world's greatest retail salesman, car salesman for 12 years straight. And I think he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for like 3 years running. He was the #1 car salesman. Now, you might say, okay, well, what is that? Who cares? He sold it to a fleet of car, or, a company that needed 20 cars. No, this was one at a time. And over a 15-year period, he sold just 13,001 car. And that was one car at a time. Now, how did he do it? He built relationships with the families. So every year, once he would get a new client, and this was before there was automated services and send out cards and everything else. But he would handwrite every year, every client would get so many cards, birthday cards, all that kind of thing. And that turned into, literally, if you figure that out, not quite 1,000 cars a year, right? But that was 15 years. And he was the world's greatest retail salesman, and it was cars that he did. Then the other gentleman I would really kind of point out is Harvey Mackay. Have you ever heard of Harvey Mackay? Anybody? Harvey Mackay wrote Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Eaten Alive. And I think there was another one, and I cannot remember. I'll have to look up the name of the other book. But he bought, at age 27, he purchased a small failing envelope company that has grown to $100 million in business. It's one of the nation's major envelope manufacturers. I mean, it's an envelope company. And it's producing more than 25 million envelopes a day. Currently, now this may be a couple years old because I pulled this off a few years ago, but it's over 450 people. And as chairman, Harvey's philosophy is ingrained in the company. And basically his motto is do what you love what you do, and deliver more than you promise. So he goes into, if you go look up Harvey Mackay, you will find quite a bit of information on him. And he is still living. There is another book that he wrote, but it's Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive. And the other one is Beware the Naked Man Who Offers You His Shirt. Sounds kind of interesting to me, but both of these men are very well known for what doing above and beyond. And I know we all talk about it, but if you put the pieces into place and you know why you're doing it, you've got a game plan, and now you go out and you do it, it becomes part of what you're doing. And then that referral network, that business referral network, just feeds itself over and over and over again. So it works out really well. But Nicole, I actually put you down as a success story. Do you mind sharing just a quick minute or two about it?
No, thank you for having me share. So back in 2020, you introduced me to the world of networking. I'd never been to a networking really event, or if I had, I really never knew what what to do. And so it was really neat. I went to it was like right before COVID, and I got to go to the North Side Networking Group, and where they met at a restaurant and kind of started that way. And then it's just been amazing. It's amazing the process that the referral networking groups, the masterminding groups. It really helped me find my niche, and it helped me evolve my love what I do with the blogging. And because of these networking groups and meeting like-minded folks and helping them, and they're helping me, and introduced to different people to help each other. So I have to start your blog now, and I love it. So it's like a 6-week course that I teach, and then also the sent out cards. That is an amazing tool to keep top of mind and appreciate others. So so I'm really thankful, and I love your idea for the 4-week program, because you're like, in the 4 weeks, you're showing us, and whether you're a newbie, whether you're seasoned, the different tools and resources that you use in each of your groups, and I just love it. I love how you put it all together. I can't wait.
You're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you for that. I feel like I should be looking at you though.
It's hard when you're the presenter, isn't it? It's like,
yes. And I was just like, I wonder who, yes. So hopefully everybody that's on here is still listening.
Yes.
But we do have a couple other members that I weren't sure if they were going to be on today or not, but Angie McHale is one of our leaders, and she's been with us for, she told me last week, 7 years. And I was kind of blown away. I think Dawn Evans Casey has also been around about that amount of time, and she's also a leader. And there's stories about, when you take these basic tools and plug them in, she always talks about that she's with us. She's been an awesome part of the network as well. And it's more and more people like that. So anyway, I just wanted to bring those up. So I guess what I would say is, I don't know if everybody is on here or not. Does anybody have any questions about what we're doing here? What your thoughts are, what can I say? Anybody got anything? Are you there? Nobody's there.
So it's a 4-week program. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, I don't have any questions right now. I see what's officially starting next Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Officially starting next Tuesday. Yes, what else can I add? And it's going to be at noon, from noon to 1. Eastern time. Now, the reason I always do that is we have one of my helpers with the program is in the Netherlands. So for her, it's like, what time is it? Like 10 o'clock or something?
Well, at 12, it'll be 6 p.m.
Oh, I get lost on that. Yes.
I know it. I know
yes.
it. Yeah, Danielle,
yes. So that is just the nature of being in the group. You're going to meet some new people. I would, during that time, I would encourage you to kind of check out our groups. Now, Amanda just joined us, so she already knows about our groups, but she doesn't really know about, our mastermind. And I know I've been talking about the mastermind for a couple years as it's been evolving. We ended our mastermind. This last session was done right before, I think at the end of May. We're going to start it either in September or October. Now, what does a mastermind do? A mastermind, literally, you sit there and you mastermind. The origin of mastermind comes from getting energy from the master and bringing it into your room. And literally, I put 3 S's on business. Did you see that? Oh boy. Cannot believe I did.
Business.
I can't believe I did that. Okay. But anyway, I just saw that. I'm like, why didn't I see that? But anyway, so the mastermind, we have had really good groups, people involved in that. But the Ignite is meant to be either you're burned out or you're brand new. I'm not sure I actually said that. If you know somebody who's brand new in an industry, they don't know where to start,
Christy she needs to get off the call. She's carpooling.
Yes.
So
hi, Christy.
Hey, Jennifer, nice job. Super excited to get involved in this. You do a great job as always.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. Thank you, Christy. So did you get a chance to put your information in the chat? Everybody, please put your information in there. I will keep it, or we will definitely be, I'm hoping I can get out of here and save it. We do start on Tuesday. Nicole, are you able to put that link into
I added the link and I've been saving the chat. So you will get
you're
the chat
so
one way or another way.
awesome. All
You will
right,
get it.
so it's going to go, thank you. It'll be the 9th, the 16th, yes, the 23rd and the 30th. So, and it will be 4 weeks. And then I just want everybody to pick what, if you want to continue. I hope my big vision is that it would just make more, make sense out of what the rest of what we offer with TTR. And then it helps you, go out into your communities and better network, and really build a relationship marketing strategy, and your referral network, your whole big thing just turns into just feeds you the leads, the connections over and over, even when you're on vacation. So I would just
I have
leave
a
you.
question. I gotta,
Uh-huh.
okay, so say my lunch is like 12 to 12:30, so I can come a half hour.
Yes,
Will this
ma'am.
be recorded? Will you
Yes,
send
we
us a
will
recording?
record it. We will record it. And I would hope that, yes, I would definitely say that. We'll record it because I know Nicola always reminds me to record it. Because sometimes I forget. The other part of this, I did forget. If you decide to do this, it's $47. We're going to let you in. I know Nicole's going to be on. Danielle that is helping me, and I don't know if she ever was able to get on right now. 4 o'clock for her is the what time is that? Is that, Nicole? I'm totally screwed up.
So right now, 4 o'clock is her 10 o'clock. So it's
But
probably
it's
closer
right.
to 11 tonight. So you probably.
So I know she was trying to link, but that's why we're doing it at noon on Tuesdays. And yes, we will record. And I want Danielle to, because Danielle's got a podcast. She's got a, what else does she have, Nicole? You know better than I do.
Oh, she has an amazing nutrition coaching program. She's an integrative health specialist, certified, and it's just amazing what she does. And she's just so warm and inspiring. So
Yes.
I'm so excited.
And she was invited to one of our visitor days for our networking groups, one of our groups, and it's turned into, I think now we've known her for 6 or 7 months, and she's gotten very involved, and it's very cool. But anyway, I'm going to stop the share. Nicole has put that in there, and I know we've lost a few people. Does anybody have anybody got any questions? Amanda, anything? No, thank you for jumping on. Dan, Sandy, if you haven't, Tim, I know Tim's
See you later,
been,
Jennifer.
thank you. Thank you. I think you said good job, I think.
Yep.
I was just imagining it. What do you think, Dan? Any questions you have?
I don't.
Okay, so I'm going to follow up with a link to this, as well as the chat that Nicole think, you know what, I might be able to do that. I think I can do it. I was thinking I couldn't do it because I couldn't find it. We did have about literally double this that had signed up. I think a lot of times people do get, and then they run into something. So that causes them grief. But I do send out the link to all the information. And, if you're just trying to get some basic tools and meet some really good people, I think this could be a really good benefit. So thank you. And Sandy, I didn't get to stay in the group the other day, so I'm sorry. I would have recognized you better had I been there. But thank you for visiting. And Dan, I know that we have some spots for realtors that may be opening up too. So it'd be good to talk to you at some point for sure. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And Amanda, thank you for being on. And Nicole, anything I forgot?
It's amazing. Thank you. I'm excited.
You're always excited. She is excited though, but that's what's really cool. She is a happiness coach. I don't know if y'all knew that, but that's one of the many things that this lady does. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. I'm actually going to stop the recording and